welcome to Motorhome Talk. I'm Mike and I love to talk about motorhomes. Well, today I'm going to tell you of a little adventure. As you might have seen some of my previous videos, my wife and I sold our house in Washington State and we are looking to buy a larger motorhome because we had the 34-footer, which was fine going back and forth from our daughters to Washington, but now we're turning into full-timers with the sale of our house. So we decided we want to look for a larger motorhome. As you might have seen from some of the previous videos, we went to different rally and saw various production coaches that were there. We have had production coaches in the past, smaller ones and then up to a Class A. However, we were looking for something a little better with quality build. With our last motorhome, we had a lot of time spent getting things repaired that were actually production issues, and that was getting old real fast. And with us spending more time in the motorhome now, living full time, hopefully we'll be traveling a lot more. When we were looking for a larger coach, we decided that we wanted to get a 45-footer of a quality build. So I looked around, talked to a lot of people, as I love to talk about motorhomes, and I read a lot of articles and I watched a ton of videos. And my wife and I, actually we were at a rest stop and a Newell, I think, pulled in, and she said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, that's a Newell," and that's what started our whole investigation of looking for motorhomes of quality. So we decided we'd check out Newell after all our research. So we decided we'd go to Oklahoma. Now that can be a very dangerous thing to, like if you go to a show or a motorhome show, it can be kind of dangerous. You got to be kind of careful. Well, we had a plan that we were going to go check out the Newell motorhomes at their main facility where they make them from scratch, the chassis and everything, in Miami, Oklahoma. So we went up there and they had used motorhomes. And prior to this, I had done a lot of different research on the Newell motorhomes. I looked at RV Trader, and I looked at just various, some motorhome dealers do sell used Newells. So we got an idea of what a Newell cost, which is significant. Well, the bottom line is we decided we'd go up and just game plan was to check it out. And first of all, see if I could drive a 45-footer, because I had to make sure I could do that before I ended up buying a 45-footer of any brand. So the thing about the Newell is it has this active rear tag for steering, and that intrigued me. And we went up there and we did go for a test drive, and I could drive it. It's big and I got to get used to the size, but it did maneuver well. I'm going to need some tuning up as I travel, but that's just going to mean time be in the seat and trying to just put miles in it. But I could drive it, and that was the key. So with that behind us, we decided that we'd look at the products they had there. And the plan, of course, was to buy a later model one so that we could not spend too much money. Well, we ended up looking at the different motorhomes they had there, and they had quite a different years of motorhomes. And we found one that we did like. It's a 2021 Newell, and we checked it out, and my wife liked the design. It was simple for what we wanted, and still really nice and elegant. So we decided that we would make an offer on that. We had discussions, and we ended up buying this motorhome. So that was a huge decision, and as I said, you got to be careful when you go check out motorhomes. We had, of course, gone to the factory tour. I had seen the factory tour on video, and we actually took the factory tour there. The facility is very nice. It's not a spit and polish deal like Newmar's. It's like you go into a Four Seasons hotel. The Newell is basic working facility, a factory. Nice, very nice, but it was much more down to earth, and they're just making motorhomes. And we went through the factory, and you could just see the quality that the videos all talked about when they produced these motorhomes from scratch, from just the iron and aluminum, and everything was just as they had said in the videos. So we were real impressed by the quality of the motorhome. And So as we were talking about quality of the motorhomes, a Newell takes about, I think it's 6 months or 8 months to build because they're all custom. There are no similar motorhomes. I mean, when you're buying a used motorhome, a Newell, you're getting what was designed by a person, so there's never going to be two alike. And with the quality of the Newell, it takes, as I said, 6 months to build one of these, whereas a production motor coach, and I'm talking even the top of the line of the production coaches, takes 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, that's like, wow. You know, no wonder the production coaches can't compete with the custom. Now, the price, again, is a huge difference, but that was a big deal for us. If you want to get a Newell and you're going to go buy one brand new and you're going to design it yourself, they're out 2.5 years. So this company has a niche, and it's people that I talk to, these people have bought their second, third, and sometimes fourth Newell. I mean, these people just keep coming back, let alone the people that have gone from production coaches or other, I guess, buses that are converted over to Newell. But it was an interesting topic of conversation amongst the people at Newell and at FMCA when we were talking with a lot of the people. As you might have seen in our previous video, I talked to a ton of people at the FMCA rally in Perry, Georgia, and a lot of them had a lot of production problems with their motorhomes. And to be honest with you, a lot of them were leaky slides, which you all remember from my previous motorhome. Leaky slides was a big issue. So just something to keep in mind. And the other thing that really stood out with Newell is they have a 24/7 call line if you need help. And so if I have a problem on the road, I call 24/7 and they will get somebody that can respond and get me going. So I said, is this really a real thing? When I was at Newell, talking to Newell owners, not the Newell people, and they all said they've owned multiple Newells, and absolutely positively 24/7, you call, you have a problem, they will not only get you a tech to talk to, they'll get you a tech that knows that particular issue. If it's audio visual, or it's slide, or it's refrigerator or electronics, they'll get you a tech that actually knows that particular component of the motorhome. And heck, he might have even been involved in building it because they all know the numbers of your motorhomes. And they say, oh yeah, I built that on that motorhome. So it really does work. I have to tell you, when my wife and I bought it, we drove home. Obviously, we went through everything, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. There, when we got it at the factory, that walkthrough. But we got on the road, and of course, I had forgotten something, and I called them up, and sure enough, zippity doo dah, they called me back, told me just what I was asking, and it worked. So I mean, not a big deal, but it was a big deal to me because I couldn't figure out something. But bottom line is they did it. The walkthrough was excellent. After we paid for it, of course, then we moved our stuff in. We had to leave and come back because we had the old motorhome, and so we had to come back and we transferred things over. But the walkthrough was excellent. It took 2.5 full days of walking through the motorhome, inside and out, and then the next day more questions, and then even on the third day, and they weren't rushing me. They could say, you can stay as long as you want, and a tech will be helping you out. So the third day, I just said, I want a tech in the morning. I want to go for a ride with him, and then we'll just bounce some things around. And then I said, I even want him to help me dump. No problem. They helped me dump. So it's a dumping system, just different buttons and things. It's different than the levers that you pull on a lot of motorhomes. So it was fantastic. And I said, we got to get going sometime. I can't take the tech with me. So the bottom line is, then we decided to head out. There is one other issue, of course, as I'm new to this whole bigger motorhome deal, is insurance. I figured, well, heck, I'll just go get an insurance, pick an insurance company that I've used before. So, not true with a Newell. Newells, if you look at them and you look at the price, and you get a newer one, they're over $1 million. And no insurance company will insure a motorhome over $1 million. With the except for at this point in time, to my understanding, Progressive. Progressive will insure up to $1 million. Other companies will insure the motorhome, but the deal is they also have to insure your house and have all your other insurance before they'll insure your motorhome up to $2 million or whatever millions you want on your motorhome. They won't just insure your motorhome. And my wife and I didn't have a house because we sold it, so we were kind of out of luck, if you follow. So Progressive was the one we went with because they were the only one we could go with. So they insured it up to there. On the upper side is, from what I understand, I've talked to insurance people, and they say that Progressive is looking at raising the $1 to $1.5 million in some states. When that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, I don't know. But they said there is a list of states, and I don't have that list of states, that will move up to 1.5 million, and then of course they'll let me know when that happens in the state that I'm registered in. So that was our path with the Newell, and I got to tell you, the experience of driving this motor coach is wow. I mean, it is wow. The quietness in this thing is mind-boggling. The handling, I mean, windy roads. This thing is huge, but the wind, not a problem. And Oklahoma has significant winds. But the thing we picked up on was the stability of the coach. If my wife had to get up and do something, she did that with much more ease than in the previous coaches that we've owned. And the quietness of the coach. We could actually carry on a conversation without raising our voices, which in the other coaches we've had has been an issue. It's something we live with, but it is. So I guess you kind of get what you pay for. And I hope this coach is the quality that I'm looking for. And from my short experience so far, I'm very impressed. And of course, the design is like over the top. I will take a video and show you my particular motor coach in the future. I'll encourage you, if you're interested in looking at Newell, go on their sites. There's tons of videos they have of not only the production, the quality. They'll point out to you as they go through, and they'll also you'll be able to see just the looks of different coaches that Newell sells. So that's our experience. Next video will probably be me walking you through my coach, and let you know how the experience of driving a 45-footer for a novice is like, if anybody's interested in that. Some of the people, as I told you, drive these 45-foot coaches and don't have a problem. Well, I hope Mike's one of them, because this thing's big. But so we'll go from there. Well, thanks for joining me on Motorhome Talk, and we'll be back to you. Bye.